What school failed to teach you about money? The attitude towards money and how money exists in your own life. Does it enter your life and immediately leave once you have it? School also failed to teach you about the importance of financial planning. Does it really matter if you earn 6 figures and there's still nothing to show for it by the end of the month? What is money? Money is commonly defined as a medium of exchange, an instrument that facilitates sale, trade, or purchase of goods and services between parties. What school failed to teach you about money is that it doesn't tell you much about what money actually represents. Personal finances. I learned how to balance a checkbook after graduation from the university and what the word budget meant. That was it. I have since written some few checks in my life, and I have learned that budgeting is highly personal, hence personal finance. These are some things I know now that I wish they had taught me in high school. Number 1. How to budget. Budgeting comes down to live within our means, and most adults were never taught this because Americans have well over $3 trillion in total outstanding consumer debt. Learning budgeting is simply a matter of tracking expenses, deciding how much to spend in each area of life, and sticking to it. It's an easy concept to teach in schools. Number 2. How to save money. In saving or investing, pay yourself first is a simple concept where you're focusing on saving and investing with the first money you receive, and then live on the rest. We all know that if we wait and save what's left at the end of the month, there will never be anything left. There will always be more month than money. We will always find a way to make ends meet. Number 3. How to invest. Children should, at a minimum, understand the options for investing. They need to know about stocks, mutual funds, and real estate before a salesman explains these concepts to them. They should understand the importance of investing early on. Number 4. How to avoid debt. Number 4. How to avoid debt. That credit card and otherwise is infiltrating our country as a whole. When some people hear something like that is a tool, it makes it seem okay to keep a revolving balance on credit cards. I am not here to argue whether that is a tool or not, but when people say that, they are definitely not talking about basic consumer debt. Number 5. School failed to teach you about insurance. Insurance is almost inevitable as taxes. The general rule is if you can't afford to replace it, insure it. The students need to know that. Emergencies and unexpected events happen, and most people can't even cover a $500 emergency with their savings. Insurance should be taught before the insurance salesman reaches the students. That's typically when they learn about insurance. An insurance salesman is a dangerous teacher. Students need to know the different types of life insurance, the difference between liability and the full coverage car insurance, and so on. Most importantly, they need to learn when they need each type of insurance. Number 6. How to be prepared for emergencies. The first step in Dave Ramsey's famous 7 baby steps is to save $1,000 as a starter emergency fund. Once all debt other than mortgage is paid off. Baby step 2, he suggests saving 3 to 6 months of living expenses. An emergency fund is a crucial part of finances. I don't know of any financial guru who doesn't recommend having an emergency fund. Still, so many people don't have one. About 75% of the population of the world don't have enough in savings to cover a $400 expense. According to a NerdWallet survey, when Americans were asked what caused their debt problem, the main reasons are emergencies. Credit cards are the most common way. I have seen young adults handle emergencies. I am not sure if the credit card companies are teaching this or if students decide this for themselves. It's a toxic solution. It's a toxic solution to a problem that could have easily been solved with enough savings. Number 7. How taxes work. Many students will begin paying taxes before they graduate high school. They are already paying taxes when they make purchases. Often it's a wake-up call when your kid has saved his money for a large purchase, only to get the counter and realize he doesn't have enough to cover the taxes. We are taxed when we earn, when we buy, and when we die, and it doesn't end there. While most Americans accept this as something they can't change, there are ways to lower your tax burden, and students need to understand that. At a minimum, the curriculum should include a basic overview of the different kinds of taxes. Number 8. How to keep and access records. Some records should be kept for a year, some for 5, and some for life. It's important to distinguish which is which. You don't want your child to trash important records, but they also don't need a home filling system for every record they have ever been given. Accessing records such as taxes, medical, legal, and other financial records is another overlooked piece of being an adult. Kids need to know where to go, who to ask, and how to get copies of all records. This even expands into practical records like credit reports. Number 9. Foster creativity. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Albert Einstein. I get it. Most schools have art class. Students also have the choice to join band. And there are few good writing teachers out there who truly understand the importance of creativity. But unfortunately, that's not the standard. And what about creativity in math and science? The school system tends to talk about creativity like it's a special extra thing that kids do occasionally, which has led to separation of the creative classes. For example, art, band, etc. And the academic classes, for example, math, science, etc., we would do well to get rid of the distinction. Einstein never held the distinction. Most of our greatest thinkers did so through the lens of creativity, not academia. Number 10. The value of mistakes. I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. 26 times I have been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. Adults are starting to realize the benefits of mistake. You may have heard the phrase fail forward, which was first popularized by John C. Maxwell in his book with the same title. Edutopia says, changing your students' perspective on mistakes is the greatest gift you can give yourself as a teacher. 14 Teach Thought gives 9 ways teacher can help students learn from mistakes. Studies have shown that the use of productive failure is more effective than simple, direct instruction. While there are not many studies on how teachers respond to mistakes in the classroom, teachers often punish for mistakes that could have used productively. Number 11. School failed to teach you about sales. This one is controversial and debatable, but I think sales has a place in the classroom for 2 reasons. Number 1. Students need to learn how to sell themselves, if nothing else. Number 2. Students need to learn how to project themselves from being sold to. Please subscribe the channel. Thank you.